Two girls, two nurses, Nora and Emily. How can a family be so lucky? Nora is only a few years older than Emily, but the career she chose for herself became a template for Emily to follow.
I always wanted to be a teacher, but my parents told me to follow my sister. Growing up at that time, we look up to our parents. They know best.
After high school, Emily followed Nora's move to Manila to attend the University of the East for her pre-nursing courses.
I was put on the waiting list at the UERM School of Nursing. I didn't want to wait and waste another year waiting. So I went ahead and enrolled to the Ocampo School of Nursing.
The big city could be daunting to a girl fresh from the province. There is noise in the streets and temptations galore in the many shops that can lead naive young girls astray. But having an older sister in the city was a calming influence.
I was a serious student, but you know what? When you're living in the dorm with your classmates, you know something naughty happens. When the dorm matron finished checking on our rooms at night, we would bring out beer bottles. We start jogging, but nothing crazier than that.
After graduation, Emily went to work right away. Her sister had already blazed a trail to the US on a working visa, and Emily wanted to go too. So while working at St. Lourdes Hospital, she was recruited by Westlake Community Hospital in Illinois on a one-year contract. She had only been in St. Lourdes a year, but it was time to hasta la vista. The year working as a staff nurse in Chicago went by fast. Soon it was time to say goodbye to the cold and layers of clothing of the Midwest and head to, where else? Hawaii. Wow, how did this happen? Well, young Pepito EALA had been an ardent admirer of Emily since high school. When she was in college, they would often write to each other, and even more so when he moved to Honolulu with his parents. When Emily's contract was over in Chicago, Pepito lost no time in enticing Emily to marry and move with him to Honolulu. Soon, Pepito and Emily were a family with two boys. Her career as a staff nurse in Kapiolani Medical Center for Women and Children developed steadily. After a few years, she became a charge nurse, a position she held until retirement.
When I started working at Kapiolani, I knew I would stay for a while. I retired for 38 years in 2011.
Kapiolani gave Emily many reasons to stay for her entire nursing employment. And for this, Kapiolani has shown gratitude in heartwarming ways. Her department honored her with Nurse of the Year award in appreciation of her friendliness, helpfulness, and competence. Because of her ability to work well with others and effectively to achieve goals, her supervisor nominated Emily as that year's YWCA Young Leaders in Healthcare. In this, she got to attend the free luncheon along with other awardees from different agencies. Caring for growing boys, holding down a full-time job, and managing a household often does not leave time and energy for anything else. Even so, Emily is most proud of the fact that she joins the San Esteban Aloha Medical Mission every time it went underway, which is every 2 years. It was always a good reason to spend time back home and help her town with her health concerns. But it was with her fellow nurses at PNA Hawaii that truly developed her inner volunteer. She consistently raises her hand when PNA activities called for help, be they health fairs, community action events, or organizational affairs. She is always anxious to do her part and more. As with her time and energy, she is also generous with her hard-earned dollars.
There is no shortage of opportunities for giving back to your communities we belong to. Nurses of PNAs are always giving. I am proud to represent them. Thank you, PNA Hawaii, for this recognition.
Everyone benefits from community service. The community being served and the volunteer whose life is made more joyful and rewarding. Perhaps that is why Emily, in her retirement years, still exudes vibrance, a calm spirit, and a very sharp mind. Emely EALA, our 2021 PNA Hawaii Community Service Awardee. Let's give her a round of applause.